special
Okay,
permit.
let's call the meeting to order here.
Excuse me, I'm gonna tell the
7:02.
TV man. that
He just
way.
said Ron.
Oh, he said, okay, great. 7:02.
And have you gentlemen had a chance to review the minutes? And I believe these minutes were from Joe.
Yes.
I thought you did a pretty good job, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
And
You did a
this-
great job.
Um,
Who would like to become secretary? Town planner will support that,
I hear that, I hear that.
very much so. No, he didn't volunteer.
Okay, forward on the check.
So I don't-
Hey, I tried, Mike.
Do we have any discussion on the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll
So
second it.
second,
We have enough.
all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Great.
Okay. No vouchers and stuff, so we are going to be
Good, how are you? Doing well.
A&R plan endorsement. If we can fit that in right now before our hearing. Who has that and what do we
Mr.
want?
Chairman, this came in after our meeting agenda was posted, but there's no public hearings necessary. We try to help the folks along as quickly as possible. This is Murray.
Smaller.
Oh, okay.
If you want.
Sure, thank you.
Sure.
Weren't you in a little while ago with one of these?
Yes, I was.
How many do you think you can have around here?
I think I can do as many as I can try to get.
Do you wanna,
I want to
Can
do
you
a
explain
brief overview.
Yeah.
By the way, for the record, Keith Murray from
Yeah.
from Cornerstone. This is on Pierce Street at the end of the cul-de-sac. It's an
Okay,
82-acre parcel, and it's fairly straightforward. Breakout of lots. There's an existing dwelling, which will
Yep.
have its own area here.
okay,
And then we're gonna create lot 2. That will be serviced by a common driveway.
okay,
Lot 3 is here,
yep,
also serviced by a common driveway. Lot 4 is a standalone with frontage. Now, the two lots, this lot would be a backland lot,
which lot is that?
lot 3, sorry.
Okay, yep,
And then is a remaining parcel of land
yep,
which will still have access off of there. I'm showing frontage, the area,
mhm,
the R factor, everything that's required in your regulations. And we'd like to get moving forward with it, but there will be that remaining land. The purple is the remaining land, and I tried to, I'm not very good with coloring, but it's common driveway. The common driveway will serve lots 2, lot 3, and access to the backland lot
yeah,
for potential future, they were thinking of maybe putting 2 lots, but they don't know.
common drive is what, 5?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, that's the public hearing date we'll be setting for that future.
for that in the
For the common
future.
drive, correct.
Okay,
But they just want to be able to have access to the end.
do you
I have that, yes, sir.
have bigger
Oh, I'm sorry.
that if we want to review all this? Steve, have you had a chance to go over it?
Yes,
in
sir. We
detail?
met in detail today, and Keith, we went down the list that we check off.
Okay.
It meets the R factors, particularly on, it's the Hammerhead lot that I was
Yeah.
most concerned with, but they all have frontage and access, and they actually
Because
have the area that is stated.
I didn't bring my magnifying glass, so I'm having a hard time really reading
I
this
have,
here.
I have a lot of.
That, that's all, oh, you got a big one, but if you had a chance,
Yeah, we spent a considerable amount of time today. Keith came in to discuss that.
Just a quick question while these guys are looking. The 48 inch, or is it, how many is that easement? How wide is it?
It's 48 feet.
Feet, okay.
It's 48 feet wide. Generally, it's, as
So-
you may know, it's really 18 feet
Yeah.
for the width of the drive. But the problem is you gotta be able to fit utilities in there, we gotta put drainage in there. So that, therefore, that's why we made it much wider than your normal common driveway that you'd see.
Okay, good, thank you.
35 feet, okay, so that's good.
Do you gentlemen want to review, go down the list? Or I'll read the list off?
Do we need to do that for this, Steve, or?
Steve has
Since there's a
reviewed
public-
it, but I'm
Since there's
just
a
quickly
public hearing.
looking down here. I'll quickly run down. We have a North Point date and scale on this, name and address of recorded owners,
Is your butters?
and existing street, ways, lots, easements, public commons. Any of those are listed. Entire area in which a division takes place, including all parcels affected by an increase or decrease, which is on this plan. Frontage area, and remaining joining land owned by the applicant.
Signature page?
Okay. Space to record board action signatures, yes. Notice of any special permits or variances issued. Is there?
All the notes are here that are pertinent to
Okay. That's all listed. Statement that the plan meets one or more of the following criteria. All lots meet Pepperell zoning frontage requirements.
That's the
Yes.
first one, sir.
Lots are being joined or made part of joined land to meet Pepperell zoning frontage. Lots are pre-existing, Pepperell zoning requirement, but each has at least 20 feet of frontage. All of that. This Lucas plan, that's all there. Certification plan was drawn by a land surveyor. I see it all there.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the A&R? Any
make a-
questions or any more to the engineer?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. And Joe seconds. Gentlemen, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
So, is this for, Mr. Chairman, we have a Mylar here that needs to be signed. And then we also
All
have,
these copies?
yes, and 4 copies. This is for the Mylar. We passed this around. About 3 of them.
Oh, what a good
We're gonna
guy.
share. You did it all.
Can I borrow your pen? I forgot to bring a pen. I'm an accountant, I use
No.
pencils.
Hey. Erase.
That's right.
I'll move this out of the way.
Thank you.
Put in a budget for 10 Bics.
I will. I'll put
Today
it
the
in.
10th.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
We'll go to the dollar store and pick it. What's this, Colo? That I have. I need that. This, I need to go get. This.
While we're doing that, Mr. Chairman, before we start at 7:15, could we, Mr. Murray's here also for 7, setting the public hearing for the common drive. Stay here for the rest of the meeting.
You had a,
I had the date of
A
August
designated date.
21st
Yep.
at 7:15. That'll give the departments the 35 days to review and get back their comments to
that's
us.
for the bottom on the Mylar, and use your pen to sign it. Oh, okay, right?
Okay.
You knew that.
Oh, yeah, right.
I knew you knew that. Sounds good to me. Gentlemen, did you hear what
So if we could
All
have
in-
First, yep.
agreement? Want to make a motion for
If we
Make a
could.
motion to accept the special permit hearing for the application for common drive, 2533 Deer Street, for August 24th, 2017,
7:15?
7:15.
Thank you. What's that?
Second it.
Excellent. Thank you. And
All in favor?
Wait,
Aye.
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 All in favor on that.
Terrific, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I'll borrow Joel's pen.
No, Joel. Second. Mike?
Take your pen back, I'll just borrow Joel's.
Sure.
Positive.
You gonna let him?
Joe doesn't like me. Unless Joe doesn't like me anymore.
Here we go.
thank you. Yeah. No. Thank you.
We're gonna need the Mylar, that pen for the Mylar down the line.
Got one.
You got one?
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
Steve handed a couple out.
Do you have one, Chuck?
Yes, I do, thank you.
There's scarcity in these things.
Mike, you missed one.
Steve, give me the-
Public hearing announcements. One, right?
Jane
There you go.
Circle. Yeah. I think we just can let Joe get his John Hancock's done over there. And, move on. Okay, people, we're gonna be opening up for a public hearing at 7:15. And the first public hearing here is for a Mr. John Paris, 3 James Circle. And Mike, would you read the
Yep.
notice, please?
Notice of public hearing, Town of Pepperell, in accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 9, the Pepperell Planning Board shall hold a public hearing on Monday, July 10th, 2017, at 7:15 p.m. at the Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Pepperell, Mass. 01463, concerning the special permit application for John M. Paris, 3 James Circle, Pepperell, Mass. The applicant requests that the single-family home located at this address be converted to a two-family dwelling. The application is governed by Section 9300 of the Pepperell zoning bylaw. Any person interested in this application may attend said public hearing. Copies of the applications are available at the Planning Board office and Town Clerk's office for reviewing during regular business hours. Special services, assistance, and accommodations may be made available by contacting the Planning Board office at least 1 week prior to the scheduled hearing date. Persons unable to attend may submit comments in writing at the Planning Board.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Is Mr. and Mrs. Paris here?
Hi, I'm John, this is my wife Donna.
We do have a copy of your plans and stuff like that.
Yeah, I made a bunch of, I think it was just the first 4 pages though, that's all Steve asked me to give you. I have the
Certified
regular
plot
plan.
plan.
I have, yes, you should have the plot plan and.
Yep. So basically, you want to make the home a two-family.
Right. The reason I have to go with the two-family is, I believe Pepperell only allows 800 square feet for an in-law apartment.
And it's called
this is
an
gonna be
accessory
1300.
apartment, but an accessory apartment.
Accessory,
But
okay, yeah, that's right.
I think there's in your district, zoning district, you're allowed a two-family, which that are different than an accessory, which is you're looking at about 1,300 square feet,
Yeah.
so that
Little,
you're good.
little, I think, yeah, 1,300 and change,
Yeah.
something like that, 1302.
Board members, have you had a chance to review the plans or anything? You haven't yet? Okay.
Just drop your pen.
I have. I picked up all this stuff from Mr. Parker before the weekend so I could try to study everything here. Steve, do you have any other, in your observation of this, any comments or anything to
Mr.
add to
Chairman, we
the?
do have 3 comments.
I saw that.
Okay.
I just want to know if you have anything
No,
we
sir.
need to know.
No.
Okay.
Special permit, it's a discretionary special permit. The major criteria is that the proposed use or structure will not cause a substantial detriment to the town or the neighborhood.
Right.
And that's the determination that
There are
we
some-
will make.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Mike, you want me to read the comments while you're reviewing the plans there, or do you want to read these?
Oh, I can read it.
Okay.
Yeah, these are rather brief, actually.
Paula Terrassi on Wednesday, May 24th, to Steve Parker, special permit 2017-3, Paris 3 James Circle, special permit to convert single family to two-family. Steve, Conservation Commission has no comment on the above referenced special permit. Regards, Paula.
That's a Conservation Commission.
Conservation Commission.
Yep.
Okay, this is from the Fire Department. Subject,
Same
the
property.
special same property, same permit. Please review attached offer, any comments you may have. I guess these are the handwritten comments here.
Right
Okay.
here.
Smoke CO2 heat detectors in new home. Update existing home with smoke and heat detectors in garage. Chief,
Did you get a copy of,
I did not get a copy of that, but it's without saying though about the fire thing, it's,
okay, I think Steve can give you but what the fire chief is that you have to upgrade all your smoke
yes.
and heat detectors throughout the whole dwelling now,
No,
okay?
I understand that.
Okay, Pepperell Planning Board, this is from Peter Shattuck, our highway superintendent and tree warden. I've spoken to Mr. Parrish. He assures me he will be paving the driveway to the street. This is a new bylaw that all new construction of driveways and homes have a paved apron to protect the edge of our paved streets.
Yeah, I was talking to Peter about that. He gave me his blessing, as he says.
Yeah, it says you.
Well, I think they were his comments. I don't know if he gave you his blessing.
That's-
Nice gentleman. Yeah, we don't want to talk. Nice gentleman.
Colleen Gendron from, this is from the
Board of Health.
Board of Health. We, the Pepperell Board of Health, are in receipt of plans for the above referenced property, memo dated 5/9/2017. Please see the comments and concerns below for the above referenced project. Property is currently served by a private septic system. Applicant shall submit proof from the Pepperell Sewer Department of an accepted application for tie into municipal sewage system and Board of Health abandonment form. If sewer is not available, full compliance with 310 CMR 15,000, the State Environmental Code Title V is required. We appreciate the opportunity to comment. If you have any questions, please contact me directly at the office. Thank you. And that's from Kayleen Gendron.
Are you
I'm on,
town sewer now?
no,
You're
town
not-
sewer is all the way in the street. It's right there.
Okay, you do have a lateral stuff to
Yes, I
connect
have
to.
to tie in. I am going to.
You gotta
because
tie
I
in
gotta-
now. Yep,
I talked to actually Dave Walsh,
yep.
and he's gonna actually, when I
Yeah.
do go start and all this, he's gonna be doing the contract.
Yeah, then there's a thing about disbanding your septic tank, which he should know.
Well, yeah,
about.
fill in, crush and stuff, whatever, and yes, yeah, I talked to Kayleen,
Oh, okay.
right after my, meeting before, here.
So you're all, okay,
And she gave me the permit, and, I mean, she gave me the application and stuff to
all right.
have filled out. Yeah, I'm ready to do it.
And I guess, that's it. That's his
That's it.
form for application.
That's it.
That's all.
Okay.
Can I take this?
Is there, board members have any questions or for the applicant? Anybody in the audience?
We're abutters. I was just curious as to how you were coming off the house, that's all.
Actually, I can even give you a set of plan, oh, hey, you know what, let me show you by the, surveying lot.
You coming off the right side as you're looking at it?
It's the only side I can't actually come off.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, left side.
You're coming off
If
the
you're looking
left.
at my house, the left side.
See you later, have a nice day.
No, yeah, see, here's the house right here, my driveway's
I'm
right
not
here.
looking to break your-
No, I understand, I understand,
I was
it's right
just
here.
curious.
So you're right here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. You have the pool, your pool's right here.
Yep.
See? Yeah, it's coming off this way.
there you go.
Coming off that way, then there's gonna be a deck, that's gonna be a four-season room.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's, only needed 50 feet, I think I got 150 feet this way. I still have 38 feet this way, I only needed 30-something, or 34.9 now.
Bonus.
Even with that, I have 84 altogether.
Yeah.
And then I only need 30 feet from the road, or 35, I have 38.4 with the new addition.
Cool.
So,
Like I said, I was.
plenty of,
Balls out of
no,
it.
I
I was just curious what you were
No,
doing.
I appreciate it, I appreciate it
Thanks,
very
man.
much.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Damn, you dropped your glasses. Ah, of course.
Nobody else from the audience?
Is the,
Okay,
just, is the current driveway remaining the same? current
That is gonna be,
location?
yeah, the driveway's gonna stay the same. It's just got that repaved last year, so that's not gonna be torn up. That's just gonna be just a single car garage. My little car, and then the 3-car garage is gonna be, as you see. I believe I wanna try to do forced hot air propane. Have the tank sunk in, probably to the ground. So that's,
that falls under your fire department.
right, yeah. My whole family's all Boston firefighters. I know all. I come from Atlanta firefighters, so I know all that. So that's it.
What I'm gonna do then is, when you guys are ready, I think if there's nothing else, then we could close this hearing.
Okay.
Joe, you,
Make-
any questions, any?
Nope, I'm good.
Chuck? And Mike,
That's it.
make a motion, we close this hearing, then there'll be no more comments or whatever. Motion for that?
I make a motion to close the public hearing for John M. Paris on 3 James Circle property for conversion from single to the 2-family home.
Okay,
I'll second it.
in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
What we may do you gentlemen, want to do any deliberations or make a motion to accept or do this after we listen to the other hearing, or what?
We have 3 minutes before the next hearing, if we want to take this up.
Take which?
If you,
You want to
if
vote?
everyone, yeah, if you gentlemen feel that you've seen enough and want to make a decision on this application now, we can, we've got time. And, or if
Oh,
you're
the
not ready,
associate members. Is that, you're talking about the associate member?
No, we're gonna
No, we're talking about
take up
Oh.
this issue,
Okay.
Mr. Parris.
voting is,
Yeah.
I make a motion that we vote to approve
application,
the application for parish
Could I, Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Could I just suggest that we
Yep.
add those comments from the three departments as conditions
As,
appropriate?
with conditions for as stated in the comments from the boards.
Oh.
Motion, second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're all in favor.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so I'll give you these outside.
Sure.
We have a minute. Could the board sign, there's not enough time. I don't understand the state regulations. If we wait to the next meeting, the 14 days that we have to write the opinion is expired. So what we've been doing is have you sign
Yeah.
it tonight, and I attach it to the decision that I draft, that I'll draft out this week.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
You too. Thank you.
Hey, good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Work hard.
Okay, on to the next public hearing, yeah? 7:15, what do I do with this one? Oh, 7:30, right.
Your next one.
Mike, you want to pass it?
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Okay. That's that one. So this is with this. Right. We got parish.
Who made the motion? Chuck.
Chuck made the motion, and Joe seconded, unanimous?
You can pull that.
Yes, I can, thank you.
Okay.
All right, we're getting just about ready time to go into our next public hearing at just about 7:30 here. And this is for a Common Drive special permit on Heel Street. And Mr. Mike?
Chuck's here, we can open that.
Notice of public hearing, Town of Pepperell, in accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 48, Section 9, the Pepperell Planning Board shall hold a public hearing on Monday, July 10th, 2017, at 7:30 p.m. at the Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Pepperell, Mass. 01463, concerning the common driveway special permit applications of Daniel O'Brien, 13 Heel Street, Pepperell, Mass. The application requests to use an existing driveway with improvements to an existing house and a new house. The application is governed by Section 6200 of the Pepperell zoning bylaw. Any person interested in this application may attend said public hearing. Copies of the application are available at the Planning Board office and Town Clerk office for review during regular business hours. Special services, assistance, and accommodations may be made available by contacting the Planning Board office at least 1 week prior to the scheduled hearing date. Persons unable to attend may submit comments in writing. Pepperell Planning Board.
Okay. Why don't you, Mr. Presenter, give us a little show and tell, and then we'll go into comments and stuff.
Here representing Daniel Val O'Brien, a common driveway application with their residence on 13 Hill Street. Also here with me tonight is Peter Barbieri, the applicant's counsel. So we submitted this plan back in sometime in May. I came before you informally at the beginning of June to introduce the project. And Dan O'Brien's lived here on this property now for 10 plus years. It's a 5.3 acre lot on Heald Street. There's a significant portion, which is this shaded darker green area here on the property, that's wetlands. And came to me to look into subdividing the lot, doing an A&R plan, form one additional lot off the backside that we could access through this existing driveway, the common driveway. So the plan before you, we have Dan's existing lot, which is here. Here's the existing residence of 13 Heald. It's about a 1.8 acre lot. Meets the lot shape factor. It exceeds the frontage requirements. It's a legal lot. The lot we were able to create on the backside is about 3.5 acres. Again, meets the lot shape factor requirement on the upland area. It has a requirement on frontage, and we were able to locate a house here up in the southern portion of the upland area, on the backside of the property. As I said, there is a significant amount of wetlands on the property. We are able to stay outside of the limits that conservation allows. We submitted the same application to conservation at the same time. We did meet with them back in June. Went through during the meeting, before the meeting, all the comments, and came out of that meeting basically with a permittable plan that Conservation Commission now just waiting here if there's anything further planning board has to offer. In addition, we hadn't received yet the comments from the town departments, the DPW, water, wastewater, highway, things like that. So we did receive all those comments back now. We have those. I brought today, we got our last round of comments today in the last week, so I brought plans with me of all the revised plans. The comments were very minor in nature. They were just really showing a couple of extra utility details on the plan. Some paving details. And they're reflected now on the current plan set, which I have several sets here for the board. So what I'd like to do is, unless you have any immediate comments or questions, go through waivers that are required.
Yeah.
And in addition, I have a comment letter now that I can go through and we can discuss all the comments that we did receive from the departments.
What we'll need to do is we'll have to read the comments.
Mr. Marchetti delivered that later today, and I made a copy for the board.
This is
I think
his
he has some
rebuttal.
copies as well. That's the response to the comments. Thank you.
Why don't we, the waiver request you have
Yes.
in this, has that been ironed out? Are you still requesting these waivers?
We are requesting them, and these were part of the comments that we got back from the water department, and DPW.
I'll read the waiver request form for this driveway. We request the following waivers from the requirements of rules, regulations of the Pepperell DPW and Water Division. Number one, from 1A, service connections shall not exceed 100 feet from corporation stop to building structure without prior written approval from the Water Division Superintendent. Proposed water service requires a total length of 450 feet. This length is the most direct route from the existing water main located in Heald Street through the common driveway to the proposed single-family residence.
Bless you.
And number two, from 1B, any new water service, including the curb stop, shall be made within the legal frontage of the property being served. Exceptions shall not be allowed without prior written approval from the DPW Director or Water Superintendent. Services shall run as close to as practical to 90 degrees to the water main between the corporation and curb stop. Access to proposed lot number 2 is not feasible from the lot's frontage due to the presence of existing bordering vegetated wetlands. To avoid a significant wetland impact, the domestic water service is proposed to be routed through the proposed 30-foot access and utility easement within the common driveway, providing access to Lot 2. So these waivers he's pretty much requesting from the DPW department. Why don't we, for the open hearing, we need to read these comments. You have the comments there, Mr. Mike?
Yes, I do, I think.
Right
Yeah, I have
here.
a-
I've got them if you want to.
yeah, I got them. I got
If
the
you read
package.
through my letter,
What we'll do is then we'll go through, I
He
guess,
said their comments are, so I put their comments exactly are numbered, and then my response is right after them. So all of their comments are copied verbatim off of their comment letters in my response.
Yeah, I'll try to, I only have yours, I don't have theirs. Oh, you want me to go through this? So, like that, so first.
why don't you read, you need to read the, from Ken to the board, and then from the highway department, all right? So read these, and then we'll let Mr. Engineer here go through it, so read that for the,
Okay, from Ken Kalinowski, project engineer, DPW director, Town of Pepperell. To the planning board, I've completed my review of the submissions from the common driveway for the above referenced project. These include a full-size plans entitled Special Permit Documents, Common Driveway, 13 Hill Street, Pepperell, Massachusetts, dated May 9th, 2017, prepared by McCarthy Engineering for Daniel O'Brien, 13 Hill Street, Pepperell, Mass. 01463. My comments are as follows. Number one, the engineer should add a trench patch detail for repairs on Hill Street. Number two, the existing water service for 13 Hill should be added to the plan. Number three, a note on the plans indicates the new water service to connect to existing water service. We are not aware of an existing unused water tap on Hill Street for this property. This comment should be clarified. Please note that since the new lot is to be a separate property, individual water services will be required with individual shut-offs, curb stops at the street. Number four, the proposed water service is well in excess of the 100 feet in length, and the Pepperell Water Department will likely require a meter pit to be installed near the street. They may be willing to entertain the idea of utilizing a plastic water service to reduce the overall cost of the water service. Number five, the engineer should add a detail for the low-pressure sewage system. Number six, a detail of the 6 inch by 6 inch Y with bushings should be provided. In lieu of this, number seven, in lieu of the sewageable manhole, a clean out should be added immediately after the 6 by 6 Y to allow the clearing of any blockages on the properties. Number eight, note 5 indicates that the culvert will be inspected prior to the extension. Given this will be a newly paved driveway with only 1 foot of cover, we strongly recommend that the entire culvert be replaced with a suitable material such as ADS-N12 smooth wall plastic pipe construction. Number 9, spot grade should be added to the plan at the inlet and outlet of the culvert to ensure drainage will follow and not pond in these areas. Okay. These comments pertain to the plans and documents as submitted. Revisions and additions submissions may warrant further review by this office. Please contact me if you have any questions or if I can be of further assistance in this matter. That's from Ken. This is from the Highway Department, dated June 21st, 2017, to the board. Please be advised that the Town of Pepperell has a new bylaw that all driveway aprons will be paved into the property line to protect the edge of the paved street surface, 25 feet with a total of 3-inch binder and top. Please attach zoning bylaw, common drives. Peter Shattuck, Senior Highway Superintendent.
Okay. What was passed out to you gentlemen by the engineer is basically Ken's comments and his responses, along with a real small detail. That's all right. I know what you're doing. I know, I could see it. You've got, to me, it looks like you've chosen the Ys and their cleanouts, and you answered, you're putting in a meter pit. You're using an E1 pump for sewage. Myself, I've conceded that he's answered those comments, and we'll have to get along with the DPW to have everything approved, so I think those are answered, and he's well aware of
So
the,
Ken received a copy of your comments.
We submitted them all today.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
this is
Everything's
what
been submitted today.
he
So he
passed
has
out
them.
here tonight.
We have hard copy of the plans, and we also submitted an electronic copy of the plans. So if I could just make a comment about the two waivers that we asked for.
Yeah,
They were specifically spoken about in
Dave, I see
here,
that.
so the one that wasn't spoken about was accessing your own lot through your own frontage.
Yeah,
So there was over 10,000 square feet of wetland fill we'd have to
Right.
impact to get to it. So we discussed it, and Conservation Commission is clearly on board with using the access easement through the driveway.
that's why you're asking for this common drive.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes sense.
And where does the existing drive end today?
So today,
So it kind of wraps around.
it goes right here, so it comes up the middle,
Yeah,
and it wraps right around in here,
okay.
and up in here. So this, it's all in here,
So that part exists today, the only thing you're looking for
Yeah.
is that,
and it's 16 feet wide through here. But we have to expand it to 16 foot with 2-foot shoulders.
30 feet.
So we're making it a little wider. It's not 30 feet, it's only gonna be an 18 foot, 16 feet paved, 2-foot shoulders on either side.
Which is a requirement.
Yeah, which is the town bylaw. So it's really this piece up here we're adding, from here to here. And
But you're
we're
putting,
doing a little
you're
bit
gonna
of
put
widening.
utilities in there, right?
The utilities, yeah.
And it says,
Yep.
common driveway including utilities, marked shoulders, parking areas, turnarounds, travel, storage areas shall lay out entirely within the access or utility easement with a minimum width of 30 feet.
Yes. So there's a 30-foot utility easement granted on these plans. So it's a 30-foot utility easement between it, where we're coming off with water, electric off an existing utility
Okay.
poles in here already on the
Okay.
property.
The driveway
Right.
is, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be an
30
easement.
yeah, right,
There's
that's
5
30
feet on each side
Right,
of the
yeah.
driveway
Okay,
and the
so,
shoulders.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So I'd like to, if I could,
Sure.
address just a couple of the points that they called out. You read DPW's comments. Water Division also provided 6 comments.
Yeah, did we go
Which-
through those?
No, I don't believe so.
6 of those comments are exactly out of Ken's comments,
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
You want me to read them?
but they specifically speak to, we're coming from the water department. He says the new proposed water service is well in excess of 100 feet in length and shall include a new meter pit to be approved by the
Yeah.
Water Division.
Yeah, that looks like that.
Yeah, that, he has this, and he also has his answers on this sheet here.
So I just want to call your attention to, we do show a meter pit.
So this is just really a restatement of Ken's comments with the water department.
I'll read this. This was, came in today, comment on the
Correct.
water and stuff.
Yes.
Mike,
The engineer's responses have been
for the
provided. and
water
provided.
division here. Existing water service for 13 Heel Street should be added to the plan previously noted by the DPW director. Your response is existing water service located at 13 Heel Street has been added to the plan. Yes.
We show it on the plan now, connecting it to the house.
And number 2, the note on the plans indicates a new water service to be connected to existing service. We are not aware of an existing unused water tap on Heel Street for this property. This comment should be clarified. Please note that since the new lot has been a separate property, individual water services will be required with individual shut-offs, curb stops at the street, previously noticed by the DPW director. And his response is, the note for the proposed water service has been clarified on his new site plan.
So here I specifically state, connect proposed 1-inch copper water service for rear lot only to existing. So he thought we were coming up with one teeing off for both lots.
Oh, it said it'd be 2 line, yeah. Okay, that's what he wants, 2 line.
And again, they're talking about the new proposed water service is well in excess of 100 feet in length. It shall include a new meter pit to be approved by the water department. The meter pit should be located downstream and as close as practical to the new curb stop. Response is a water meter pit has been specified and detailed in the site plan. And that is,
The meter pit here now, coming off the street. Somebody also provided detail for the water meter pit with the note stating that the make and model shall be approved by DPW.
okay. And then the engineer should add a detail for the low pressure sewer system. And we do have,
So it's the make and model of the E1 system that I discussed with Ken before.
that is a pump system. E1 is the name of the manufacturer, and it's an all enclosed unit that they will use to pump the sewer. And then the detail for the 6x6Y where the bushing should be provided. And his response, he has got a detailed drawing of that. And that's his big picture of it. In lieu of the sewer manhole, a cleanout should be added immediately after the 6x6Y to allow for clearing of any blockages on the property. Previously noted by the DPW director. Response, cleanout has been added to the site plan and a detail has been added in his detail sheet.
So here's where the Y is located. We
Yep.
call it a clean out, and we show a detail for the clean out.
Because of the one of the sewer, you need to add those things. So those have been,
And also the letter that you read from Mr. Shattuck,
yep,
he provided an updated one today,
okay.
which is why I addressed it.
That concerns the 5-year moratorium, and Mr. Machete wants to speak to that on the curb cut. That came in today also, and
so
was forwarded to.
His first comment remained the same as what you read before, about the
Yep.
first 25 feet
You're right.
is the driveway apron. That's in a case where your driveway apron stops and you have a
Right.
gravel driveway.
Yep.
This whole driveway is going to be paved.
You're gonna pave the
So
order.
it's, we're paving to his spec the entire length. His second comment was really to notify everybody that Field
Yeah.
Street was paved in 2016 with a 5-year moratorium,
Yeah,
because the site didn't have a well. So, being as we just got that today, we didn't know about the moratorium. The plan still shows us cutting into the street to tie in. I added in my response here, the current site plan depicts a copper water service to be connection. If the applicant desires to subdivide the lot and construct a residence on the rear lot prior to the termination of the 5-year moratorium, it's understood that a well will be required and we will tie in the street. So, if we can address that in condition, timing-wise, if we build this before the moratorium's up, we have to put a well.
yeah,
And
okay.
obviously, the well location and installation will have to be observed by the Board of Health and
Yep.
Federal.
Okay.
So that's, I think it's very easily addressed with just a condition.
Okay. Do you have anything more you?
That's all. That's really all. Like I said, I brought several copies of the stamp set, full size and half size.
Yep.
Preparation plan.
Yeah, this one other item that we submitted today as well, just to go along with, it wasn't asked for as part of the review, but a simple operation and maintenance plan for the driveway. Because there is a culvert, it's an existing culvert that's underneath the roadway.
Okay.
But since we're expanding the culvert, the DPW director asked us to replace it completely, so respecting the exact N12 ADS pipe that he asked for. We showed spot grades on either side exactly what he asked for. So we provided an operation maintenance plan for inspections, just to make sure that the culvert operates over time, it doesn't get clogged or blocked with leaf and debris matter. So this would actually be written into the easement document, legal document for common driveway. That both homeowners are responsible for.
Into the grant easement, that's going to be added in?
Yeah.
Okay. Make note. Any board members have any questions, comments? No? Very well done, thank you. Audience, any questions? Seeing none. Everybody on board here set? Sir, do you have anything more?
We have, I guess, the only thing beyond this now is we wanted to get approval from
Us.
you.
Yep.
Conservation meetings tomorrow night.
Mhm.
And then I have the A&R plan prepared in the application package. So once,
What's the appeal period? If the board grants this, the 20-day appeal period after the decision is delivered to the town clerk,
Mhm.
at which time come forward with the A&R plan, which we have in-house.
Yep.
He's provided that already.
Anything else we need to know, Steve?
No, we had the easement, we're gonna add that.
Right, the
Operations and
maintenance.
maintenance plan to that.
Mhm.
I guess I would just, so I would, thank you, suggest that should the board decide to move favorably,
Mhm.
we would note that the comments from DPW, Highway, and Water
Mhm.
addressed the waiver request. So
Yep.
that by granting that waiver, we would then add those comments as conditions to the approval.
Yeah.
And that it not only meets the requirements of the Common Drive, section 6200, I think it is, but
Yeah.
it also meets the requirements of a special permit application 9300.
9,300. Okay.
But you said
Clear
that,
intent.
that Ken only got the response to the comments today, so we haven't heard back from him as to whether or not
So-
he has any further issues.
That's correct. So thank you. The last thing I would suggest is, should the board care to decide this evening, then I would ask that it be subject to your submitting the completed plans, subject to the comments to DPW. We've done this in the past.
You satisfy
So that we get a written-
DPW.
And we would get a written.
Yeah, you get a final clean letter, we're all
Correct.
on the
saying that
same
we
page.
meet so that would be, I think that would address it, should the board wish to move forward.
Okay.
We did that on another special.
Yeah.
We've done it before.
The Dunkin' Donuts. That
Yeah,
was
right,
subject
right.
to the final plan, because it came in similar to this. And I understand that comments came in very late, and he did not have that opportunity to, finalize a plan and submit it to
Mhm.
Ken. So I think that would address that concern.
Yeah, okay.
Should you be okay with it? Mr. Chairman?
Does this, can I ask you a question? This plan, are you just addressing the driveway itself or the actual house that's going on the lot itself? Is that also gonna be covered this evening?
No.
Simply the driveway, sir.
Just the
Driveway.
driveway and how it's gonna be impacted? The house will be a different discussion?
The house will be, should they build a house there, they would go before the building inspector.
Will there be a hearing on that as well?
No.
No.
What's your name, sir?
So my name's Ron Nemo, I'm the butter of this property.
Okay, I'm sorry, the name I apologize.
Ron
Rod?
Nemo, N-A-I-M-O.
Thank you.
I'm on 21A Yale Street. So I have a question too on the, our driveway actually has a culvert, and it runs a stream into the Sucker Brook, which I believe this property also touches on. And I know Conservation was very concerned. We're not able to pave our driveway based on the runoff situation to that particular waterway. And I heard these guys say that they want to pave that particular driveway, so the runoff would be a potential concern into the wetlands, into the brook, into the Mississippi, which is where this all leads to, you guys. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not, but it all does flow into that particular waterway, so having a paved driveway was a concern for us specifically when our houses were built, which wasn't allowed. So I'm wondering why. Would this be allowed to have an asphalt paved driveway in this case?
Go ahead, Steve, I know.
I just want to let the gentleman know that there's a continued public hearing to tomorrow evening of the Conservation
Right, I
Commission
heard about
here.
that, yeah, I just heard that.
So
That's the concern.
sounds like that's the
That would be,
body that would address that question. I don't know if the engineer wants to.
because it is in the wetland area,
Yeah, it's-
he has to go to them for hearing. Those things would be addressed by them.
Yeah, and we did present that to him before, and due to the size of the project, it's a single family, it's one, it doesn't, we propose that would prevent that with the Massachusetts stormwater policy would require further stormwater treatment ponds and stuff like that, but
Right.
it's not big enough to
Our town engineer has not made a comment concerning that, so I'm assuming that's not a concern of our own engineer. But again, that issue can be addressed tomorrow evening with the Conservation Commission. And I think they start at 7 also, but it hasn't been posted, so.
Yeah.
So the current driveway is a dirt driveway.
It's gravel.
Oh. Paved up there.
Do you guys get involved with like emergency apparatus turnaround in a common? Because I know we've had, ours had to be addressed as well. What about that particular?
Part of
concern?
this plan is he shows pull-off areas and stuff
Have
that,
you seen the plan, sir? Do you-
Well, I started last time around, but I haven't seen anything that's
Yeah.
changed.
We
since
provide the minimum 25-foot radii the fire department requires
turnaround.
with in excess of what they required for parking. I think they asked for 6 to 8 spaces, and we're giving them 10.
Mr. Chairman, the fire department had no reservations, there's no comments.
no comments from them.
We did add on here, we followed up. Board of Health had no comments, fire department had no comments, police had no comments as well.
It's all part of there's a bylaw that governs common driveways,
Right.
and it's all written in that, and I look for that in his plan, which he does show that. So he does meet our bylaw requirements in regards to that. With separate easements, it's pretty professional, it does look, it meets the criteria. Anything else?
Those are my questions now. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Board members? All set?
No other questions?
We're all set, and look for a motion, we'll close this hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing for the special permit approval application for Dan O'Brien at 13 Hill Street, Pepperell, Massachusetts.
Motion made, second, please.
Second.
Chuck seconds. All in favor, gentlemen?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Hearing is closed.
Thank you.
All right, we can, any deliberations, the board want to make any action on this now, or if you're ready? I'll give you a minute. Who wants to make any motions to act on this now, or whatever?
This culvert.
All right.
1615.
We already did, this, yeah, that's already been set. Our only other action tonight is our appointment, correct?
Correct.
Does he need our approval before going for the Conservation Commission? Are they looking for that?
Well, I think if the board is ready to take action, it'll make the discussions tomorrow night easier, because he'll have a plan to present to the Conservation Commission, which would help to address Ron's concerns. So, but we need to take that action tonight. We have time, but because Conservation, that's a great question. In light of the fact that they're meeting tomorrow night, I think it would be helpful to...
They were looking to kind of see where you folks were. It's the same plan in front of both groups at this stage of the game.
And I've forwarded all of the comments to the Conservation Commission administrator for the Conservation Commission. But they are looking for some direction from the planning board, because we do have the say on the plan as it's presented, as well as the conditions.
In my opinion, I've reviewed this over the weekend. I picked up all my paperwork ahead of time, and it's there. It's a, they've got everything. They've got their easement.
I will say everything has been addressed.
Yeah.
All of the concerns of the departments have been addressed by the applicant.
Yeah.
As I stated earlier, I would suggest they be voted up as conditions to the approval, should the board so desire. I think it's important that a revised plan be submitted to DPW for their concurrence. It seems to meet their concerns. I don't see that being a problem. But, because things came in late today from everybody, it's probably that be included as well.
Mr. Chairman, are you looking for a recommendation or a motion?
Yep, if someone wants to make a motion, if you're ready, I mean the motion, and then we can act on
Mike, you
it.
got anything else?
No, as long as we could, like I said, include recommendations from
DPW and...
Can I ask
The
a question of the
Conservation
applicant? Is it possible to add a sheet? I know in definitive subdivision plans, we have...
For conditions?
Yeah, your waivers and the cars, just an information sheet addressing what the board is, what we've discussed tonight.
Yeah, typically
What your
it's-
responses, et cetera, I think it would be helpful
Okay.
moving forward for everybody.
So you're saying our responses to the comments, the waivers, and your conditions, whatever conditions you...
Yes.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah, I think it'd be, I don't know if you can do it for tomorrow night, but it certainly would be
If I
helpful.
have them on, if you get them to me tomorrow,
Yeah.
I'll put them on there, absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this plan as submitted with the conditions that all the recommendations and comments be adhered to from the Water Department, the Highway Department, DPW, and we can also such. Did I cover everything, Steve?
Anything you think?
Revised plan
And a revised plan
submitted to DPW
Yes.
addressing tonight's discussion. And I'm sorry, Chuck, what was the Conservation Commission?
That's the,
That meets approval of the Conservation Commission.
I don't think we need to include that. It's a separate, it's Wetland Protection Act and a local bylaw, and they have, I don't,
yeah.
it's all right, I don't think we,
Theirs is conditional on our...
They didn't send anything to add, they have their own meeting on that.
Okay, then I'll
yeah, I'd
take
like
it.
to, I think it's
Yeah.
best to
That's fine.
So he omits that part of his
Yeah.
motion. And second
Motion
one?
be amended to remove the comments pertaining to the Conservation Commission.
And that it also, if we can include that it meets the criteria in section, bylaw section 6200 and 9300 as well, common drives and special permits.
Right.
No adverse impact on the neighborhood.
Agree with that for your motion?
Yep.
Motion's made.
I'll second it.
Joe seconds. Any discussion? All in favor then?
Aye.
All in favor?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
And
Well, Paul, I
if
said
we can
well.
sign that one as well, thank you, gentlemen. I'll get, we'll give Chuck No, I got complete trust. Just call me. That's okay. Yeah, so,
Yeah. It's kind of interesting
I-
that this thing is a
I don't wanna tell-
driveway.
Whose is that?
It's,
Steve's? If I can just make I got a little nervous when I saw our agenda coming up, and I had called Steve earlier and asked him to get a packet together.
That helps.
It does help,
A couple
guys.
days ahead.
If you see, our agenda, we're gonna have some hearings and you might, with
I stepped in
Thanks.
this morning.
call ahead and see, even if you can't get here, I'll go get it for you. You can come to my house and get your packet ahead of time. It does help. You know what I'm saying? And Steve will do that, because I asked him, hey, get my packet ready, so.
It'd also be nice if we could get these comments,
He had
Put it in
comments,
those packet.
everything that
not
he
that,
had
not this
for
last minute.
Thursday.
Oh, it came in,
Yeah.
3:59 this afternoon. and,
sir, would you mind?
Yeah, you're right.
Myself.
I don't know if we can have a cutoff.
So as far as the,
We should have a request that
Yeah.
it's no later than 1 week.
Let's ask if we can do that in our regulations.
That was quick.
We have to change our regulations.
Or at least for
Sign my name. Which is this.
days would be nice.
All right. We have one more thing to do tonight, gentlemen.
they had already gone to the website.
Schedule another public hearing.
We have a citizens activity application form. This is from our past member, Albert, patting on to be our associate member.
Affordable Housing Committee member.
You all have a copy of it, did you?
Yes.
But what I want to do, you remember our last meeting we had from Mr. Themoulis,
They just got the
yeah,
conservation.
Steve Themoulis.
And that's,
So I would like to tonight that we pick one and vote. I think it's
Are
pretty,
we limited to one? I mean, can we have?
yeah,
We are.
in the bylaws, we pick one. We select
I think the
one.
selectmen appoint them, it's a joint.
And then we go to the selectmen with our appointment, which will be a meeting next month. And they
They can decide to accept
They
or
can
not
vote
accept.
on it too. So, where Steve was our first applicant, basically, I guess it's just a simple vote. Those in favor of Steve, raise your hand. Is that?
Should we discuss both candidates a little bit?
Sure.
I mean, obviously, I sat on the board with
Wait.
Al.
Could we wait till Steve's in here? He should be part of that.
Steve,
I'm sorry.
get a chance, because we want to finish this
Sure, yeah.
here. We're discussing the alternate here, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring the board and vote on who we want.
No more discussion on this one, so I'll.
No, sir, well done.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, thanks very much.
All right, two.
Thank you.
And you want to discuss something, Chuck? Go ahead.
I think we have two very good candidates
Yep,
that we haven't had in the past.
yep,
And each candidate has its strengths and weaknesses.
yeah.
You know, both Steve and Al have been on the planning boards.
Mhm.
Al is a developer in town.
Mhm.
Steve's not a developer in town.
He's a contractor.
He's a but there's a difference.
Mhm.
There's a big difference between a contractor and a developer.
Mhm.
Whereas a developer,
I'm a developer. Too, in a
Well, not
way.
in the sense that Al is.
Yeah, what's your point?
My point is that both of them have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And Steve, with his knowledge of the regional planning board meetings, NEMCOG, his association with the selectmen board, and, you know, his work that he's done as far as getting us grants, you know, he was very instrumental in getting us approval with the 35, is it 35 or 25 from NEMCOG
For the master plan,
for the master plan?
that was actually 45,000.
Yep, yeah, 15 was, yeah,
It was,
but it was broken up.
correct, yeah, they were incremental pieces, 20 and 25, but it totaled 45,000, yeah.
So, but I'd hate to lose that type of talent. I also hate to lose Al's talent, but we have two very good candidates here, and I just don't want to take a vote without having some discussion on the merits of both candidates.
Right, right. No, I agree.
Well, like I said, oh, go ahead.
I know of Steve Themelis. I've never worked with him. I've been on the planning board. I've worked with Al. I've learned from Al. Yes, he's a developer. I don't think that's a bad thing. I saw that it helped this board quite a bit. He could answer things in regards to subdivision things. I mean, I saw his talent when we were trying to work on revising our OSRD plan. I mean, he worked extra hours, extra time with our consultant at the time because he could show a plan. He could show to the consultant what makes it attractive to a developer to want to do those kind of, which he has. He's got, what, two already approved OSRDs for the town of Pepperell, which I think is a great thing when you're talking about wanting to save land. And he believes in them, and of course, and so just I thought he brought a strength by being in that industry to the planning board. In zoning, he could see pros and minuses where zoning needed to be amended. In subdivision, where sometimes you're wasting your time, you're doing this, where he could bring up changes. And, that's what I got because I worked with him. Steve Themelis, all I know him as the selectman. As a planning board, I never, that was before me or anything I ever did with planning. So it's not a big thing. I mean, if Steve Themelis was on the board, he'd probably be good, either one of them. But right now, I think myself personally, I just know Al and seen him in action, and I know him a little bit more than I do Steve Themelis. That's where, and I thought it'd be good that we asked him if he would be interested in being an alternate.
And I think that's why we also, or the town administrator, looked to upgrade the positions with Steve's position, so that we have more of a knowledge base that we can draw on, rather than the individuals that we had there in the past. We have a professional planner now.
Yeah.
Which, who I think is a responsibility to provide us with the guidance pertaining to zoning and open space and all that stuff. He's certified. He's got all that stuff. I just think that, I haven't worked with Al as much as you have. I have worked with Steve on NEMCOG, and I've seen the way that he works in NEMCOG and can get things accomplished. That's just my opinion.
Well,
how much does NEMCOG really have to do with the decision-making within the town?
It provides guidance.
At a cost, yes.
But I think that the cost that we're spending with NEMCOG is far outweighed by the savings we're getting by the professionalism on the master plan. We have been in violation of the regulations pertaining to master plan for how many years now?
But I mean, I could take OSRD, and we spent money with them, and we got basically nothing from MCOG.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how much we really, how the OSRD was really, I came in at the tail end of the OSRD, so I really can't do that. I really can't comment on that.
Yeah.
Well, I can, because I saw the work and the time, and
Well, I
all
mean,
I saw
MCOG was
was
supposed
all
to provide
positive,
with
positive, and
with
then the rug got
documents.
pulled from under us.
We never got
I
a sheet of
don't,
paper.
I don't think
from
that the rug got
Well,
pulled from under us. I think
I
that we,
think it-
we as a board didn't do our job of making sure
I'll,
that.
I'll go on the record and I'll say it, and go, anybody want to, to me, it just,
I mean, I haven't worked with Steve, obviously, either. I mean, briefly when attending the NEMCOG meetings, Steve was there. Me personally, I didn't notice any more involvement than anybody else at the meeting. He didn't seem to be too participative, at least the meetings I attended. I have worked with Al. I think Al is very knowledgeable, not only of his trade and his ability to kind of muddle through all these documents, but he knows this town. He grew up in this town. He knows things that the collectively none of us would know. Okay, and I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, and he has an interest in keeping this town the way he thinks it should be or as close to the way it was when he grew up. He doesn't want it overrun. He doesn't want it to stand still either. He wants it to grow, but he wants it to grow with a measure of guidance. So I don't know. From my point of view, I think he. And I can't speak against Steve because unfortunately I don't have a background with Steve. I have no. And I'm sure Steve did a great job on the as a selectman, and I'm sure he did a great job as a planning board member. But if I were to have to vote today, I'd vote for Al.
anybody else?
I think I'd go back to what Al's comment was when we were looking for a chairman of the planning board.
Mhm.
And he said, by him being the chairman, it wouldn't look right, as him being a developer. And
Because he was coming to the board with plans.
Right, he is.
But
And
he's,
then
but
he
he's,
would have
but
to
but
sit
he's gonna
out.
be doing
He
the same,
recuse
but he's gonna
himself.
be doing the same thing as an associate member.
He may,
He will.
well,
He
as
will.
an associate member,
Yeah.
we don't need an associate member on a hearing of his
But if
unless
he's,
one of you can't sit on it.
And even then,
At that hearing.
he'd have to recuse himself from the hearing because.
I'm just
You
commenting
know
of
what I'm
what
saying?
his comment was when he said he didn't want to be chair, is because it doesn't look right.
Yeah. But he was let's put it this way, he didn't violate any ethics
I didn't say he did.
being on the planning board and being in the business that he is.
I mean, I don't-
And to be an alternate to sit on a hearing, if there was something that he couldn't sit on a hearing, if one of you couldn't make a hearing and I, as chairman, needed to call in the alternate, now if he couldn't, then that's a whole different ballgame, then we gotta wait and have another member. Make sure they can be on that or whatever, but
But a conflict
how
of
many
interest can
times
happen
do
to
we?
any of us.
I mean,
There's no question.
the only time that we ever called in my, 4 years in this, that we needed an alternate, well, we had, what's his name, I can't,
Dennis?
Dennis, yes, thank you,
Okay.
Mike,
Yes, who?
was a hearing for Al. We had to call in Dennis for a hearing for Al, pretty
Right.
much, and one hearing that Al, I think, had to sit out because it was a relation of his.
Oh,
And we had called in Dennis on that, and that was the only.
But like I said, but that could happen to any of us.
Yeah.
Your next door neighbor comes in and wants to do something. I mean, I don't feel right.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he's my next door neighbor
Yeah.
to vote either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree with you. I think it's, it's unfortunate, but we have two really talented people.
And the finance committee's looking for people.
Now, why Al decided to step down from the planning board, I don't know that we ever.
Well,
I never got a reason.
he's
put in there he wants
he's
to
put in his
coach.
time, and like he said, sports. His sports with his family.
Well,
He's been
yeah, he
taking
is
his
very
time.
active
Yeah.
in baseball,
In
and
baseball.
soccer, and
Oh, with his
it
kids.
does take a
So,
lot of time.
two meetings a month, and he said, I think I've had enough, and taking a leave of absence, brother. Who knows, he might want to run next year.
I just wonder whether or not the fact that he ran for selectman and wasn't elected, that put kind of a nasty taste in his mouth.
I don't think so.
No.
He didn't campaign hard.
No.
He did, he came in last, I think, and, he tried it. He thought maybe, and he might come back again, maybe two. I don't know what he's thinking. I haven't talked to him about
Right.
it, but any of that, but just whatever, but. Well, anyways, Joe, do you have anything you want to say?
I mean, if we're voting, it sounds like I can kind of pick up on where people are headed, but I don't know Al very much other than a couple meetings I sat through here. I had talked with Steve outside of this. I got to know him a little bit on a personal level. So I think my knowledge is pretty limited as to either of the two of them.
Yep.
But I do know, I guess moving to town more recently, I think anyone, and I look at it in terms of who's involved in town or who has been, just on my point of view. Steve served on the planning board, I believe, and then I don't know if there was anywhere in between that before he was selectman for, I think 2 terms, I'm not certain. And then you look at Al, who certainly was, he's been on the planning board. I don't know if he was on any boards previous or how many terms he served on the planning board. But
He's been on the Affordable Housing Committee.
I mean, if we're taking a vote, which it sounds like we are, I would put my vote in for Steve.
Okay. And I think we're gonna have a tie, and we don't have Rick.
Okay, so.
When's our next meeting?
Next meeting
Well,
is.
as the administrator, for you fellas, I did speak with Peggy in the town administrator's office, and George and I spoke a little bit about it. Just a reminder that it is a joint appointment, so whomever
Needs to go before the Board of Selectmen.
asked to be on, it'll be the vote of the Board of Selectmen and the members present. But she also suggested to me that she thought both candidates should appear at that and let them make their own presentation and let the vote occur at that. And it's not, I'm not participating in the merits of the candidates, but that administratively, that's been pointed out to me. And I did check the bylaw, and it is a joint Board of Selectmen and, and Planning Board appointment. So, and we had that for Joe.
Right,
If you recall, we were at that.
Yep.
So I'll just point that out to the board, and I don't know if that helps with tonight, that it's 2-2, and that both candidates, and again, that's not, I have no say in that, that's
Right.
entirely up to you 4 members, but
Probably a good idea. Have them go before the Board of Selectmen.
they
Have them
have a
pitch
meeting
We
in
have to
August.
be there too.
Huh?
We have to be there too.
Yeah. Well, we have to be there anyway,
Yeah.
right?
And
Anyway.
When is
so they
that?
meet in August, once in August. They didn't have that meeting set prior to this meeting, so I can't tell you right now the
Okay.
date, but I certainly, as soon as I hear it, I'll email everybody, and I'll let us know
Mhm.
at our meeting of the 24th
Okay,
of this month, so you folks have the time to, and perhaps she can reach out to, and if that's what this board decides.
All right.
To be in attendance at that.
Mhm.
And so that might help with your discussion.
Did Rick,
I
Say
didn't
he
hear,
wasn't
we
ready?
didn't hear that from,
he didn't attend last meeting either?
He was at the last one, right?
He was,
yeah, he was
The
here.
meeting before.
he forgot about it.
Right.
He was out planting, he was out planting potatoes.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yes.
I think that's why the board of selectmen meets only once in July and once in August.
Because they plant potatoes?
No, I think it's a little easier to have that.
You gotta
quorum
work the
once
fields.
during the summer, you know?
Right.
In many communities.
So is that what we want to do? We want to,
Well, I think right now, yeah,
the
I mean, it
candidates know
sounded
that.
to me we'd have a tie vote here, a split vote, per se, 2 and 2, and we don't have Rick. We do now wait and, I guess, go in with our candidates at the selectmen meeting and discuss that and see what's going to happen, how that's going to work. That way. That's where we're at. All right.
oh,
Mr. Chairman, y'all reach out to the candidates and let them know that?
What's that?
You folks will reach out to the candidates and let them know to be in attendance in the
Uh,
August meeting?
Yeah, I guess, or they'll hear from the selectmen then,
Okay.
when they're
And maybe
applications.
just have once the date's set, have Peggy
Reach out.
Yeah,
Sure.
send them a note.
So
I think
the
that'd be
invitation.
probably the best way of doing it. This way there's no miscommunication.
right. I have to send an invitation to.
Yeah, because we don't know the date, so.
Right.
correct.
Steve, how's your other pen work?
Unbelievable, you know? Still you, Stone? That's funny. I just thought it was
You
so.
gotta go get your pens right in mine.
Oh,
At the local bank.
I go to Derek Penbrook, he got his.
You know what, that's your pen from now on. Gentlemen, he has his pen.
There you
He
go.
has his pen.
You actually threw that out?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was broke. That's good. That's yours.
Any more business?
We need to dock Steve $2 for breaking a pen.
Breaking it down.
Bring more pens?
You wouldn't mind, I brought 3 of the Mylar signing pens. I thought
Yeah,
that was
you
pretty
did.
good. Normally,
Yeah.
I just remember the one.
Alrighty, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's over.